Hello everyone! So today I am going to be doing my 12-week update, which is so exciting, and I'm very happy to be here. So today I am 12 weeks and 3 days. There's so many things to talk about, and I'm hoping that I don't forget anything, because there are plenty of things that I have noticed that I've been forgetting in my previous videos. It is hard to remember it all at once and to talk about all of it in one video, so I'll do my best. On Sunday I will be 13 weeks, which is, from what I know, the beginning of my second trimester. Now, I've heard a lot of different opinions on this. I've heard people say 13 weeks is the beginning of the second trimester, and I have heard that 14 weeks is the beginning of the second trimester. Well, according to everything that I have been going by, I believe that 13 weeks is the beginning of my second trimester. And I also have my 13-week anatomy scan next week, so I guess we'll see then if everything is on track. So far, baby boy has been completely on track, which leads me into the next topic, which is we found out last week that we are having a baby boy. We decided to do the genetic and gender testing, which I think I did mention in the last video, which was interesting. I didn't expect them to take so much blood. I think they took like 5 of those vials, which made me a little nervous, but it felt perfectly fine, so really wasn't too much to worry about. I personally am really glad that we decided to do the genetic testing. It took, I think, 8 days to hear the results back, which I was so impatient and hoping for a call every day. The way that my doctor did it was, I believe, through the company Natera, and instead of having Natera post the results on their website, my doctor's office called me directly to give me the results. And over the phone, they told Kate and I that we are having a baby boy and that he is completely healthy. There are a list of, I believe, 247 diseases or different things that they test for with the genetic testing, and I ended up getting a negative for all 247, which was honestly the main thing that I thought about until hearing the results. I was very excited to learn about the gender, of course, but the days leading up to hearing the results, I definitely started to get a little bit anxious about the genetic testing results. I'm very thankful that baby boy is healthy, and I feel very fortunate. Anyway, I understand that a lot of people don't find themselves comfortable with genetic testing, and I completely understand, but this is just what we decided to do, and I'm very happy that we decided to. So, I am going to be a boy mom, and it's the craziest thing because my entire life I truly thought that I was going to have a girl first, and I think just because of that, until I heard that he was in fact a boy, I really was convinced that I was having a girl. I even talked about that in previous videos, and I really did. I really thought I was having a girl. But the funny thing is, since finding out that I am pregnant, there were so many signs that were pointing to boy. We already know his name, and the moment that I getting a positive test, I for some reason, the name for him popped into my head. We already knew the name of our future girl that we may have. We've already had that set aside for a while. And for boy names, we had talked about so many different boy names. But when I found out that I was pregnant, I was just like, this is going to be his name if it is a he. I don't know why, but it is. And since then, I have seen this name like everywhere. And before that, I really hadn't. There are a couple people, a couple moms that I follow that have named their sons, but we are naming our son, which is the only thing that makes me like, eh. But the name is just, it's just right, and it is his name. I just know that. And since being pregnant, I've seen his name in the weirdest places, like, I don't know, just the strangest places that you wouldn't typically see a name to begin with. And then another thing that I also should have known was a sign. Before knowing his gender, maybe a couple weeks before, there was a day where I was trying to picture our baby as an adult, as our age. For some reason, I truly could only see him. Like, I could only see our son at our age. Like, I was trying to picture, like, oh, what if it's a girl? What are they gonna look like when they're our age? Or what if it's a boy? What are they gonna look like when they're our age? I could not picture what the girl would look like at our age, which is so bizarre and funny. But I can just picture him as an adult. Like, I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. Even though I did have a dream about having a little girl, I can picture him better than picturing our little girl so far. Maybe that's completely just coincidental. I have no idea, but I do think it's interesting. So, yeah. On to symptoms. Morning sickness. We're back to this topic. So, pretty much it's been very consistent since I was 6 weeks, which it's different for everyone. I have a friend who is we're in the same week of pregnancy, and she has not once really been sick. She was in the very, very beginning of her pregnancy for like 2 weeks, and like now she's good, she's perfectly fine. I know my mom and my grandmother did not have morning sickness whatsoever. Wish that passed down to me. And then I know women who have extreme morning sickness all 9 months. I could not imagine, and I don't believe that will be me, because now that I am in my 12th week, I have noticed that I am starting to get better. I'm not completely back to normal, not at all actually, but it seems to be easing, just very slowly. There have been a couple times that I've puked since my last update, and I'm very thankful that I don't have it so bad that I'm puking every day, but I am nauseous every day. Last time I talked about that morning sickness tea. It didn't really do much for me, sadly. I was really hoping it was gonna be like some magical potion, but it didn't do anything really for me. Yeah, sadly. But I've heard that it works great for some people, so try it if you are dealing with morning sickness, because it might work for you. Now, one thing that I have found out works great for me, and this was suggested by another mom on Instagram, and I'm so thankful for Instagram, for just the wonderful people that I've met through it. including her, and she mentioned using Sea-Bands when she had morning sickness. And I had never heard about Sea-Bands anywhere else for morning sickness. Like, no one mentioned it. I'm so thankful she did. At first I was like, Sea-Bands? Like, what is that gonna do? But I got them anyways. I really just did not think they were gonna work. I put them on just thinking, no, like there's just no way they're gonna work. And they're so hideous. This is what they look like. And if you don't know what Sea-Bands are, they help with nausea. The reason they are Sea-Bands is because, you know, they help with like seasickness. But they do say on the packaging that they help with morning sickness. So these ones are, I got them from Amazon, and I have worn them every single day since I got them, and they have worked so great for me. Now they're not magic, but they do help a lot. My nausea did not completely go away, but when I wear these, it seems to drop significantly. Not right away. They say on like the packaging that it takes like a few minutes for them to work. It doesn't really take a few minutes for me, but it takes, like if I'm already nauseous and I put them on, it can take a little bit longer. But if I start my day just wearing them, the moment I pretty much wake up until I go to sleep at night, which is what I have been doing, I've noticed since then my nausea has really just not been too bad. The only times it's bad is when I am super hungry or I have eaten too much, because I can't eat too much at once lately, or certain smells make me so nauseous. I mean, anything that smells bad makes me nauseous. But other than that, it hasn't been too bad. I seem to get it most in the evening, and I just go to sleep early to try to sleep through it, and that has helped a lot. The better sleep I get at night, the better I feel the next day. Truly, if I do not get 8 hours of sleep at night, or if I'm tossing and turning all night, I usually have a rough day after. I'm not being hard on my body. I'm going to sleep when I'm feeling sick in the evening and doing my best to sleep through the night, and then I get out of bed after I've eaten something. Cade, I'm so grateful for Cade. He always brings me breakfast before I get out of bed, even if it's just a piece of toast, and that always helps so much. I put my Sea-Bands on before I get out of bed, and so far I've had a pretty good couple of weeks, minus those couple of rough days in the beginning before I got my Sea-Bands. Seriously. Today is actually the first day that I completely forgot to even wear my Sea-Bands. So I am taking that as like a sign of it's getting better. I have been a little bit nauseous today, and I didn't even think to put my Sea-Bands on, but it probably will after this video. But it really hasn't been too bad. Like, it's been bearable. So I'm really not complaining. I'm really, really not. The day that I can cook my own food again is gonna be such a wonderful day. Oh, I can't wait. I thankfully am not crazy tired anymore. I can pretty much have a normal day. In fact, the more things that I do in a day, the more distractions I have, the better I seem to feel. If I'm distracted and I have plans with people or work to do or whatever, it helps a lot. Even if I'm cleaning, it distracts me so much. A few days ago, I was feeling really nauseous, and I knew that if I laid in bed, I was just gonna feel like that the rest of the day. So I decided to start cleaning everything in the house. And it worked. It seriously worked. I don't know why. It's so strange. And I do make sure not to like overwork myself or anything, but that just seems to work for me during the day anyways. So that's all I have to say about morning sickness for the past couple weeks. I'm hoping my next update at 14 weeks I will be saying that my morning sickness is no longer here, but we'll see. I think I have failed to mention a couple of things in my previous videos, one of them being that my breasts have grown tremendously. Now, I already had a pretty large cup, but since being pregnant, I believe they've grown like 2 more sizes, which has actually been kind of hard on my back already. And I'm hoping they don't grow more, but we'll see. I didn't expect them to grow so much already. I really didn't, but they started growing pretty much instantly. I feel like this baby really just likes the same things that I've always liked, salty and spicy things. I think I said that before as well. I am really not a sweets person. If I am going to eat sweets, it's gonna be sorbet or like a popsicle, or like not anything too crazy. I'm not really a pastry person. I do like the occasional cookie. I don't like ice cream or anything like that really. And recently I got ice cream because it's hot in Arizona, and mint ice cream looked like it could be refreshing. Well, the moment I took a bite, it was like the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. So that was very interesting. I mean, I don't care for ice cream already, but it's never tasted that gross to me. I was disgusted. Everything that I already liked, I like more, and everything that I didn't like before, I really don't like now. I feel like my bump has not grown in the last couple weeks, but it's so hard to tell when you see yourself every day. So I will let you guys be the judge of that. Baby is the size of a kiwi or a cupcake or a baby chick. It's so crazy. Like a kiwi. I wish I had one to show, but like, I mean, I don't know if it's quite that big, but you know, it's a good size. So people told me about pregnancy cramps and round ligament pains, and pretty much from the beginning of my pregnancy I haven't really experienced any of that. I had mild cramping, not even mild, like it was like nothing. I felt like little tiny cramps and I didn't even think anything of it. It did not bother me. It was like nothing. It was nothing compared to my period cramps. So I was like, oh, that's easy breezy, like that's fine. But then, I don't know, like last week sometime, I was asleep and I must have turned, well, I know I turned over pretty quickly in bed, and all of a sudden I just felt like this terrible stabbing sharp pain in my stomach, my lower tummy. It was the most sharp pain I've ever felt. It was so strong, and it didn't last a long time, but it happened, I felt it like 3 times in that like same moment. Like it was like really strong, and then it was like fine, and it was really strong, and then fine, and then really strong again. And it scared me so badly. It woke me up. It scared me so bad. I freaked out. called Cade's name because he was in the living room, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, I had heard of round ligament pain, but I figured I was way too early to be experiencing that. I was terrified. But I was trying not to scare myself or anything, so I just went back to sleep and didn't worry about it until the morning. And then when I looked up exactly the description of the pain that I felt, it was almost the exact definition of round ligament pain. I guess people can experience different kinds of round ligament pain. For some people it just feels like cramping or uneasy or uncomfortable, but for me it felt like stabbing, sharp pain. It was very strong. I haven't felt it since then, but I believe that it was just because I turned so quickly in bed, and now I'm like slowly turning and being really gentle. Here's Cade. Probably not. It feels like it hasn't really grown, in my opinion, in the last couple weeks. But then other people have noticed it and said that it has grown, so who knows. So that is everything for today's update, and I will update in 2 more weeks.